Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Consciously Centered. My name is Anthony and I'm joined by my co-host, Miss Kimmy Saracino. Hello.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing?
Oh, tumultuous.
Ugh, it's always that word, the ugh feeling. Yeah, I feel that. Isn't that nuts? Like we don't even live in the same area, but yet we're both like feeling, I don't know what the word would be, like heaviness or just a lot going on. I don't know.
It seems like there's a lot of balls in the air. And I've heard that from a lot of people. It sounds like people are really juggling stuff right now. And more specifically, what is going on with the energy in the world right now? Because whether it's on the road or otherwise, people just seem like they're a little off, and their just tolerance right now is at a low level.
Yeah, that's really weird you say that because I typically consider myself a pretty positive and like, even if, shit kind of gets me down, I pop back up fairly quickly. But yeah, I don't know. It's like this past week, I felt this like, I guess tumultuous is the good word that you used earlier. This energy of just like kind of being in a chaos mode of like trying to juggle all these different things. And more so for me, and I don't know about you, it's been like the relationships in my life, whether it's like people who have been in my life for a long time or acquaintances who just are not working out to be in my life or whatever. But yeah, lots of juggling with those types of things, as well as work stuff. I don't know. And I can't, and then it's almost like I come home at the end of the day and I'm just exhausted. And I don't know, it's bizarre. We were kind of talking about this, but there has to be something going on with the universe and the moons right now.
There's got to be, and I don't know. For me, just generally, like I've always associated like the moon with just how it affects the tides because I live by the beach. So something that I kind of felt like um was interesting to me initially was that the tides really are affected by this thing that's thousands and thousands of miles away. And how does that really translate to anything that we can touch and feel in our daily life? It's like, well, there's a wave that comes and hits me in the face if I run out there too fast, but what are you talking about? It can affect my emotions. That to me seemed a little bit it seemed a little far-fetched, I'll be honest, because it was just something that I'm a very tangible person, so it's like I can't really touch and feel that, but I was completely wrong, right? Because you can touch and feel what the moon's doing to your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kind of like what you said about the tides, if the moons have power over the water, aren't we made up of mostly water?
Mm.
So I don't know. I don't know,
Explosion just
an
clicked.
explosion happening from within. There's being slapped in the face left and right. I don't know, but it's just, if I were to say it in a consolidated form, I just feel like the stickiness of life has been a little bit harder to get my feet out of, like a little bit sludgier than usual, I mean. And I've noticed that other people have definitely been experiencing the same thing. Um, I'm fascinated to know, or I guess I'm interested to know if you felt kind of like similar things, or would love to hear some of your stories as to how it's making you feel.
Yeah. Sticky, I think, is definitely the right word to describe the steps that are going forward right now, because it has been a little bit difficult to trudge forward and move. I've kind of felt like I've been in between two steps for a little bit. Like I'm transitioning in my work life right now, and as you can see from the wall behind me with the just construction zone that's happening, like literally I have a wall that I had to and then we have a cat and Kimmy on the floor. It's it is what it is. we make do with what we have. But I've honestly felt just tense. People's words seem to be affecting me more. I work in sales. You have to tap into other people's emotions. And I felt like everything that people put on you, it wasn't hitting the excitement button anymore. It's not that you don't care or that you're not excited to be there, but it's just not driving you as much as it may once have. And I think that that's a fluctuation that just happens every now and then, right? Like you're not going to wake up every day and be excited and happy, with the Disney face on. Like you you have to put it on, right? Because it's your job.
Yeah.
But you're not always going to be truthfully and genuinely, feeling every emotion that your face is saying, unless you're me, because my face talks louder than my voice. Um, so in those
You do have
circumstances,
like that face where you're like, he's thinking about something.
yeah, it's the bitch face, and I don't understand what it is, but like when I caught myself on film, like for workout videos this past year, like when I was deep in thought, I could see that face, and it looks like I want to murder somebody, and it's not the case. Like I'm not thinking about it 3 different ways to carve you up. I'm just genuinely like thinking through what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, I just feel like everybody's just like kind of like been in each other's way. And like even on the roads, like I'm driving and there's like a pet peeve of mine is like if somebody's about to make a right turn, you're in the right lane, it's a 2-lane traffic, and the person has like 30 feet for them to like, give a little bit of a break before the turn, but they're doing it a quarter of a mile and they're just slowly approaching that turn, taking their time through the turn, turning that wheel. And I'm just sitting back there like, I don't even have a place to be, but for the love of God, if you don't turn faster, I'm gonna ram my car into the back of yours and accept the consequences.
Note to self, don't piss Anthony off in traffic. Got it.
It's the northern blood. It's the northern blood. No,
I get it.
everybody just seems to be in each other's way. I think that's the best way to describe it. And that specific circumstance this week, along with I was going through a sale with somebody. And it was just like a long sales pitch. And I was telling Kimmy like here before we started and we were just kind of catching up. Like you want to almost grab people sometimes and be like, I want you to make the healthy choices for themselves. And I understand committing to something that you've never committed to before and taking a chance just, based off of, maybe one experience and circumstances can be difficult. But I've found myself in those circumstances before and I know how hard it can be. And I felt like I've genuinely mastered the ability to make somebody feel comfortable enough with taking that step. And it's not like I feel like I've lost my touch, but it was just like hard in a way that it's usually not for me. And I was like, shit, have I completely lost it? But then everybody else that I talk to in the world right now is like, yeah, I just feel like I'm pulling teeth, you know?
Ooh, pulling teeth is also another really good way to say it. Yeah, I felt more emotional. I can't believe I skipped over that part. I feel like that's the most important part is that I've felt more emotional. I felt like things kind of stayed with me longer versus like being able to release them as easily as I can. Um, yeah, and every day is not going to be like a musical day. Like you're not Kristen Bell jumping out of bed, every morning. Even though we wish we could. She's so cute and I love her. Um, but but yeah, for our jobs, we do have to be really cheerful and like whatever. And it's like once you get home, all you want to do is like throw off your shoes and your clothes and lay there and like do nothing, at least for me.
Yep, 100%. I just want to take
Yeah.
off my clothes and sit on my couch naked.
Yeah, it's literally like nobody. That's true. I was gonna say I just got curtains, so I can do that freely now.
You just
But
got
it's just
curtains?
like I've had like okay, preface everyone. Also the shitstorm called life. I've I just recently moved into a new place, which is why I'm sitting on the floor right now. My cat's just chilling, but oh, she's so cute.
She does kind of look like a
I
little loaf.
She is a little loaf. Hi, Mia. Oh, she's so sleepy. I don't have a desk yet. I mean, I do, but I have to put it together, and it's just hard to like do all of that while you have so much other stuff going on. So, anyways, yes, I just got real curtains. I had like sheer ones. So I was like, damn it, I can't really walk around naked. But I mean I
Shadow
could, but
show.
then I'd have probably, yeah, right.
You'd have
And I'd
you'd
have a
have more
total
fuck
creeper.
boys that you've been dealing with, right? So has that been your circumstance? Let's hear it. So what's been your opportunity or challenge that you've been dealing with?
Oh, let's plural that, challenges.
Challenges.
Man, I cannot deal with fuckboys at all. And this was very, I think this has been something that's been like weighing heavy on me, especially the last week or maybe 2 weeks now. I'll be kind of vague, but I will say it. There should be in no way, shape, or form any sort of normalization when it comes to a man using his power to harass someone. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Let's just say that there was a professional opportunity, and I wanted to connect with this person on a professional level. And in his eyes, he saw this as an opportunity to exploit that professionalism. And 0 to 100, the text messages went from being like, yeah, we'll work together, to all of a sudden he's telling me way too much information that I didn't even really want to know. I tabled it because I was like, oh, it's starting to feel weird. And then the text just kept coming in, the messages kept rolling in. And I was like, dude, you are a white male in a place of power. You should be careful. What are you doing? Um, anyways, long story short, I had to put him in his place. I was very direct. I started getting, we're going into it, but I started getting really kind of sad because I want to be able to be myself, be Kimmy, right? And let my light.
Okay, so
Oh my
literally
God,
just cut out of the entire video, but don't worry because this is going to be spliced together and y'all will just hear a seamless transition from a very serious, you can't do this as a man, to immediately laughing. So yes, as a man, we cannot use our position of power to influence a woman. The text messages started coming back hot and heavy, then the video cut off. Continue.
okay. Also, please cut out my snort. I was laughing and I snorted really hard. Just letting you know. Um anyways, no, yeah, so back to the serious. No, I was just saying that it just fucking sucks when you feel like you have to dim your own light because out of fear that you think or feel that someone else is going to take the way you are the wrong way. I didn't feel valued as a professional. I didn't feel valued as a teacher. I didn't feel valued as any of those things. And it really minimized the work that I was trying to do. And of course, I don't want to work with this person anymore. Like, fuck that. So I had to be very upfront and say, I don't know where you got this idea. He ended up, when he didn't get the answer he wanted, he tried to backpedal, manipulate it, started gaslighting me, all these things. I wasn't even responding. It was almost like he was going through like an anxious wheel in his brain and he was turning the story around and then making it seem like I was going after him when I literally said nothing. And I was like, this guy is insane. So
Jesus
he
Christ.
yeah, like, can you imagine sitting there and getting back to back voice memos, like 4 minutes in length and so on and so forth, just like acting normal, but not normal, just kind of creepy and just like back to back. And then all of a sudden him being like, oh, we should keep a professional relationship as if I was the one going after him. So I'm, by the way, I'm I'm in Nashville during this time. I'm filming a teacher training and I'm having a great time. This is really valuable for me in my career. And this bullshit's happening. So I'm like, oh, get away from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get your shit away from me. So I didn't respond. And finally, after the flip flop message that he sent me, and then he followed up with a voice message after that. Nuts. I finally sent a very long, very direct message of like, how dare you? Like, I don't know where you got this idea. I did not intend for you to take me or read me a certain way. That's on you. And I said all the things, you know,
All the things that needed to be said to
all
a
the things
fuckboy man.
to a fuckboy man. And then he responded being like, acting like he just, I'm just going to use the word again. He was gaslighting me like, oh, like that wasn't my intention. And, you know, I'm sorry if you felt that way. And you just come around when you're ready. Are you fucking kidding me? So
After
you can
all of that
imagine.
shit and like paragraphs of messages, here's a rule, fellas. If you're on message 5 without a response, you probably should just stop.
Just a hint.
I don't even go past 3 unless I'm being funny. Then I can usually go, or if it's important. But if you're fucking arguing and you're on message 5, just chill. All right. That should be your limit.
Dude, well, here's the thing. You are a normal human being and you understand things, you know how to treat people, and you also
Yeah.
pick up signals, right? This person was just not right in the head. So moving forward, I said my piece, but it will not, if there's ever a reach out, oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna go, I'm gonna kick his ass.
You should,
Anyway.
because you shouldn't be treated like that. And shame on that guy. You're right. I mean, as a white male, I mean, you need to be more aware these days about what you're saying, how you're saying, and how it can be interpreted. But you can't ever put that onus on somebody else for interpreting that way. You have to take the responsibility to, you know, get ahead of it. And it's not even an unfortunate thing anymore. Like you can't even say unfortunately. It's just you have to be like ownership for your words. You know, this shit can hurt people now, whether it's agreeable to you or not agreeable to you. Taking ownership for what you say should always be a priority. And like you said, yeah, I'm a normal human being, so I understand my words can hurt people. And honestly, my face doesn't shut up. And sometimes the words that come out of my mouth are, you know, directly backing up that bitch face, and I haven't hammer on an eggshell. But I mean, if it's going to be that way, it's either because I don't have time or I just, you know, had a moment, had an asshole
Had a
moment,
moment.
had an
I mean,
asshole moment.
we all have asshole moments. It's like, you know, we're not perfect, but yeah, that was a big one for sure. Um, but kind of going back to this idea of just like relationships, yeah, I almost felt like it was all at once. Like that was happening, followed by just like other people that I was like just not like getting along with, but just friction and stickiness for sure. So um but we all got to just be better, do better.
Yeah. Cut the damn people out of your lives if they don't need to be in there.
I agree. Should we look at our astrology?
Yeah. Okay. So our plan before this was we were like, because we wanted to talk about moon cycles, and then we were trying to figure out if there's a connection between what we were feeling and what was going on. And damn it, there is. Would you believe it? There's a connection between what's happening. Okay, so Kimmy is a Gemini and I'm an Aquarius. And there's an app. What is this app called that I just downloaded or plugged with people? CoStar. Okay, so CoStar, if you haven't downloaded it, you should, because as a person who's very skeptical, this was actually very, very helpful, especially when we were just like diving into what we each, you know, kind of would be like, you know, relationship wise with each other. And it was adorable
It's
basically
really
just
cute.
saying that we just need to support each other. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
just make sure
It
that
says,
you guys support each other.
what does it say? It says be there for each other. I was like, that's so cute.
Oh,
All right. So if you all are interested in checking out the CoStar app, it's cool because you can add your friends and you can obviously see your own stuff. And there are so many times throughout the, not every day, I don't check my CoStar every day, it's a little excessive, but when I'm feeling kind of off, there are times when I'm like, oh, let me just see what's going on today. And I'll look and I seriously feel the most seen. Like it makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my God, that's so true. Um, it's cool because it'll tell you, like Anthony said, like your compatibility with any of your friends. Um, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like reading more stuff. I'm like, damn, this is so spot on. It tells you your sun, your moon, Mercury, and it's kind of crazy. I didn't realize you're also an air sign, Anthony. So we're two air signs. Plus, no, you're a double air sign because your sun is in Aquarius, your moon is in Libra.
so what does this mean?
There's a lot of air in
Does that mean I'm gassy?
your gassy.
Because I got a baritone. Okay, so moving on. So we got so no. So what is an air sign? What would a trend, I guess, for an air sign versus somebody who's like a water sign be? Because I feel like as an Aquarius, shouldn't I be a water sign?
I know. I used to think that too, like, but you are an air sign and us air signs, we are usually very spontaneous. We are creative. It's hard to buckle us down. We're free spirited. We like many things. Um, an air sign who hasn't done the work yet, maybe a younger person or just somebody who hasn't done the work, would be somebody who would just like blame all of their flakiness on their sign. Oh, well, I'm an air sign. You get it. No, you're just being a dick.
Yep.
I actually know
Okay.
somebody literally said that to me a few weeks ago. Well, you get it. You're an air sign. I'm like, yeah, maybe when I was younger. And his response was, oh, okay, developed air sign or advanced air sign. I don't remember the word he used, but I was just kind of like, dude, shouldn't you be more advanced? Like you're older than me, but it's fine. So we come off like we could be flighty or flaky, but those are not even nice words. I would say we just have a lot of stuff that we like to do. We're always
Moving.
stimulated and doing things. That's definitely true for Gemini. Gemini is very like all over the places. We're seen as two heads, like fake or whatever. I don't see that as fake for me. I just see myself like having a lot of, pollinating a lot of different flowers at once, basically.
That's a good
But
thing.
also,
You're a giver.
yeah, it's a good thing. I am a giver. I'm a giver, and I like to like do a lot of like I don't do well when I'm bored, and that's definitely something that I'm working on because like being bored shouldn't have a negative connotation. That should actually be a place where you do other things to be productive or you take time to rest. I have a hard time resting, and that's probably why I hurt my foot. Did I tell you I hurt my foot a few weeks ago?
Tell me about this foot.
Oh my God, it's been so long. Yeah, actually I hurt both my feet technically. About a month
Okay.
ago,
Feet.
yeah, my feet, please. I rolled my left ankle while I was taking a yoga shred class barefoot. And I was like, ooh, that hurts. And I was like, I think it'll be fine. I kept moving. I kept moving. And then it was hurting for a few days, but I was able to kind of like massage it and it mostly went away, but I can still kind of feel it. 5 days after I did that, I was on a run and I literally rolled my right ankle so hard. I heard a crunch. I went straight to the ground. I was like, oh my God.
You poor
Um,
thing.
it was bad. I was in a walking boot up until like a few days ago.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, knew none of this. Was this before or after
So
you were done
yeah.
modeling? This was after,
Oh
right?
no, I did it before I had that photo shoot. I heard it before then. So I literally took the boot off while we were shooting and I was just kind of like hobbling around in between takes and then I'd go like elevate it
Oh my
because
gosh.
yeah, it was pretty swollen still. It was bruised. It was nasty. If you were to see my foot, you would be like, ew.
Oh, honestly, I don't get grossed out by that stuff. Now, the thing that grosses me out is like, and maybe this is, I'm gonna sound like such a astrology person right now, but maybe it's because I over tap into shit that I don't need to as an Aquarius. I
Mm-hmm.
just so I can't watch like Grey's Anatomy because I'll get too emotionally attached to it and I forget it's fake. And I'm like, oh my God, he's bleeding out. So save his life. And I literally cannot sit through those episodes because I will get so tied up in like just the cheesy, like, made for TV drama shit. And I'm like, I like Friday Night Lights changed my life even as a male to be like, this is the most emotional thing that I've ever felt watching Tim Riggins close on a house with his brother and clank beers at the end of it. I cried. And I get over emotional about the most random shit, and then I'm very under emotional about really essential parts of my life. And
Mm-hmm.
that's good because I work the majority of my life. So it's good to be able to just like turn that off. But then like we were talking about as our theory for what's about to happen with the moon cycles, I feel like I emotionally dump shit at the completely wrong times in my life because I've been like just holding it in place for me to feel it until like I get home at night and I'm trying to sleep. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like that's what's about to happen with the universe is like I've been feeling like there's been tension and I maybe it's because like we open the podcast and I always feel like I'm like, oh, you can't believe the shit that's been happening. But honestly, I feel like it's been building up to a precipice, and this is the worst and the most stress that I've felt is like over the past like 10 days. So I'm wondering, like, yeah, there's got to be something afoot, and maybe it's the universe saying, hey, you're getting ready for this huge emotional dump,
Mm-hmm.
so stress out now so that you can feel the good stuff later. I hope.
I hope you're right because whenever things are just feeling heavy, it usually is a sign of like a purge, right? Getting rid of stuff. But um what were you saying earlier that made me laugh? Oh, okay. So one more thing about air signs. A lot of us are HSPs. Do you know what that is?
No.
Highly sensitive people.
Yeah.
That would make sense, yeah?
Yeah, I take the most random stuff. I actually nope. I take everything personally. Literally, like I there's but I'll forget about it very quickly. That's also a thing too, is I feel like because of our flightiness, we also get over it very fast too. If so, I just learned this about somebody that I've worked with for a while. And I don't think this isn't calling out in a bad way. This is genuinely somebody taught me a lesson. Is you can't send a text and apologize to somebody ever. You need to be in person or at the very least give them a phone call.
Yeah.
And it's not that I did that on a regular basis, but there were certain circumstances where I felt super attached to said person because they've been such a part of my life. And like, I felt like I hurt them, and it's hard, to pick up the phone and be like, hey, yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like even at the gym, like if people cancel their memberships, I'm like, why? I'm like, where are you going? I'm like, no. I'm like, don't give up. I'm like, I believe in you. I'm like, do you believe in me? It's like, whoa, whoa, you selfish bitch. Don't turn this around on yourself. It's like, what did I do wrong to hurt you? No, but I mean, yeah, I do take everything personally. It's such a fucking
It's You're Aquarius.
Oh God, I'm like,
Why?
I feel everybody's shit, and it's annoying sometimes because I feel like I can be away from a situation and feel like I'm there. And then when I think about what I did for my day, it's like I literally spent an hour thinking about being in a situation that I'm not a part of. And I'm
Mm,
emotionally drained from it. It's like
yeah.
this is bullshit. I'm like, why? Moons.
You're an empath. And here's the thing. I'm also an empath. We are both HSPs. Uh it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because one, we're able to feel such deep emotion and connection to people and situations, but also the curse is that we feel a deep emotional connection to all these things because it could go either way, right? I could walk on the airplane, say I'm like about to work with a new crew, and then get on board and I'm like, wow, the air feels weird. And I find out that like the whole crew hates each other. It's just like an air, like a feeling. But then like some people who are not HSP or just able to filter things out, I could like FOMO. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that. I
Nope,
wish
no
I could just,
filter.
nope, you thought you could, is what the emotions say, right? And then, and then and then going back down the dating route, like trying to like date somebody who is just not emotional is so hard because then they aren't able to meet you eye to eye. And it's like you become this whole like you have to what I'm trying to say is that relationships, situations, all this stuff can affect us on a much deeper level than say the average person. But I think the most important thing is, let's go back a few episodes, boundaries is like establishing boundaries and being direct about things, nip them in the butt before they become an issue. I think it's hard to do that, but it is helpful. At least it's been helpful for me. And then I come out feeling like a strong ass bitch. It's great.
It is because, well, I mean, one day I'm gonna like snap on somebody. So I'm gonna be like, my emotional weight is way too heavy right now. Fuck you.
At the table.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say for relationships wise, you kind of connected some neurons in my brain. I have always felt like for me with relationships that maybe that was, and I shy away from, I guess, people who will meet me eye to eye because I'm not comfortable with my own emotions and working through trauma and like shit that's happened in my past. And it's like, huh, well, I've always dated people who don't have an emotional level, or I just honestly like, I just, if there's somebody who has a challenge or like I feel like we're meeting eye to eye, that's too comfortable for me. I want chaos and I move on. And it's like that to me has been the most difficult thing is holding on to, I guess, the ones that would challenge me and make me a better person versus like being unhappy with settling, not because of like looks or personality. It's not their fault. Just being like, I know that this person isn't going to completely give me what I need, but it's fucking comfortable because I know that they're not going to actually be in a true relationship with me. It's just going to get me by and make me feel less lonely.
Been there.
isn't
Called
it the
chaos mode.
isn't it the shitty thing like that you constantly do to yourself? But it's a hard habit to break.
Yeah, it is a hard habit to break. Or like it's hard to, yeah, it's a hard habit to break for sure. Or you start to see the patterns and the things that are happening, and then you go to change them, but it's like been what you knew for so long that you're like hesitant to do it, even though you know you're better off to make that change. Have you been there too?
Yeah, because real relationships are work. Hey, baby, titties.
she's like, I want to chime in real quick. What do you think?
Yeah. See, 100% thoughts right there. Those are real emotions.
She has a lot of emotions. What? She said, put me down, bitch.
She said, "Leave me alone." No, you're right. I think the easiest thing to do is to make it a pattern of like not challenging yourself because you don't want to take a step forward. But then, like you said, you know that you need something different, but why would you want to work? Because life is work. And when you make a
Yeah,
relationship, it's
yeah.
like you fully expect it to just be fucking roses and blossoms. And everybody gets through the honeymoon phase. And I hate that it's called the honeymoon phase because it's like, no, like that's just like you getting to know the really nice parts of a relationship because nobody ever leads with bullshit. It's like you're not going to lead with like, hey, these are the really challenging parts of my personality. How do you want to fix them? It's like, it's just like, no, I'm not going to lead with that. It's like you lead with the easy stuff. And that's why like I have a friend who is living in a place. This is going to sound like a tangent, but it's not. Promise it's a circle. So he's living in a place where the people that he's living with don't want him to have overnight guests. And they got super offended because they were, very like God conscious and like wanted to kick him out basically for having this girl stay over. In my mind, it's something that really was surprising to me is because I came from a very conservative town, suburban, yada yada yada. Had like a couple of, I think I like left high school. I'd slept with like, I don't know, 3 people. Um, but then you learn that's like, well, getting to know somebody in a relationship, if people look down upon the physical side of it, but it's like that's what everybody leads with. It's like, why is your mind, or why is, I guess, the people around you, and it makes the choice harder to be like, why can't I enjoy the parts of me that are initially going to create that connection with somebody, and then feel the things that you want to feel, and then let the challenges come as they come. The most enjoyable relationships that I've ever had in my life have always come from things that I don't force or pressure. They just kind of happen naturally. And I'm not thinking about, oh shit, should I sleep with this person? It's like, well, yeah, there's a balance between like, yeah, I'm horny and I want to fuck you, or like, like we're really feeling it right now and just going with like what happens. And I've also been in situations where I've been like, I haven't followed that emotion and then I fucking regret it like immediately after. Or like you think about it afterwards and you're like, damn it. You're like, what could have been? You're like, I really wanted like to see where that would have led me. And sometimes, those, if you're pro, over 2 minutes will be a really enjoyable experience. I mean,
I didn't know what you were talking about. And I'm like, oh, he's talking about performance. I'm sitting here like
guys, if you're in the 2 minute club, you need to bump up your game. But no, it's like there's
pump up your game.
Yeah, step up your game.
Step it up, pump it up.
Yeah, step it up, pump it up. I don't know. No, I mean, it's just, if that's all you got, that's all you got. I mean, why you got to put pressure on things and force it into these like constraints? It's like, I don't want to live with somebody until we hit this point. I know, until we do this. It's like, no, if life gives you the option, see what happens. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If it's not the time, it's not the time. And you'll feel it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like everybody's experiences are so different and subjective too, because like you could have like maybe experienced like trauma from a relationship, right? And then that kind of translates into your next one, but then you have to work hard to not let it do that, because then you're self-sabotaging and all this stuff. It takes work, bottom line, takes work in whatever type of relationship you are, even if you're just in one with yourself, takes work to love yourself. So, but those moons, man, I swear. Those moons are fucking me up.
They are. It's right now, if you're a Gemini, you're going to be going through some stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so sorry. Guess what? Mercury is in Gemini. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm not, you know what? We should get an astrologer up on this page with us
to tell us what's going on, because what I'm being told is you are going to be more inquisitive right now. You're going to be very curious and sociable, over communicative.
I am over communicative. Sometimes I'm like, damn, did I need to share that?
But right now it's your time to gain knowledge in superficial fun things rather than digging deep in your life and trying to make big changes, because this is not your time to be taking gigantic steps forward. You need to take some time to focus on the things that give you pleasure.
Oh, so I need to have more sex.
Yeah. Kimmy, you need to get laid in Amsterdam.
Ew.
You mean Kimmy's gonna be out there humping a tulip.
Tulip. Could you imagine that girl ate too many mushrooms?
That girl's out there rolling in the tulip. She's having a real fun time.
She went down to the red light district. She ate herself a space cake. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but
Okay, so question. This might sound odd, but the red light district is always, advertised as like, the female, like just women in windows. And I have a friend who went and he was like, yeah, this is gonna sound terrible. He goes, it was really safe. Like they made you wear a condom. Like she like really wanted you to wear a condom. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, so that's how you're gonna judge the cleanliness of the situation, not the room around you. Just like she made sure that I was wearing a condom. Like it was definitely safe. I was like, no. So do they have a red light district for males? Do you just go to do the same
it's all
thing?
types of people. It's all types of people. Like you don't have to strictly be female. I'm sure there's males and there's, trans. There's all different types of people. But they do not restrict. What's the word? In order for it to be legal, they have to have certain sorts of rules, I guess. So that maybe what your friend was saying is a rule to prevent, obviously, STIs and pregnancy. But yeah, I don't know about the cleanliness or anything, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like it's a job. It's a job and you get taxed,
Yeah.
all this stuff. So
I mean, I'm not hating on it. I was just saying, I was like, his excitement in the sanitariness was like surprising. But yeah, that's my question is like, how are we going to what's it called? Navigate this whole situation with male strippers now. So is there the same type of, I guess, opportunity for you?
Oh no.
Come on, Kimmy.
I'm too much. I just no.
You're not gonna do it for the one time.
I can't. I'm just like I've never been a one night stand person, and I think I just have like I don't know. It's I can't. For me to have that type of relationship with somebody, it has to be there has to be some sort of a connection, otherwise it's like not great for me. So, oh, I did see the 9-minute thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, sorry, that was totally out of context. We just got a little timer thing on our screen that says we have about 9 minutes left. So we are going to wrap this up. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I have to have I have to be comfortable to a degree with this human. And even as like a young college girl going through life, I just never was.
You're a unicorn.
Yeah, I would definitely like hook up, but not like hook up, So yeah, so that's kind of my spiel. But
Kimmy, damn it, you got any buns in the oven? Do we have any opportunities for you to like get laid? Because you're like immediately you were like, I need to do more pleasurable things, and you're like, sex. It's like, well,
no, you said pleasure, and I was like, well, that's the only thing I can. But eat more brownies. I could do that. I don't want to get a fat ass though. So, what other things bring you pleasure? I don't know, chocolate. So
dark chocolate's great. Releases the dopamine. Oh.
Wait, what does your sign say? Enough of thinking about me before we get cut off here. What does yours say? Okay. Okay.
So mine is telling me that it's hard for you to tell the difference between what you think and what you actually feel. You flip back and forth between reasonable mind and an emotional mind, which can sometimes make you appear indecisive. Fuck if that's
Mm.
not so on point with me.
Like I said, us air signs, we are very indecisive and we come off flighty.
I just I don't understand why this stuff is so right, but yeah, I wouldn't say it does. And maybe this will give, some perspective to us saying we're flighty. It's like, no, we're just balancing between making sure that everybody's feelings are being heard and then actually making a decision that's going to benefit anybody. So it's like if you're in a job, making the, business decision versus, satisfying and appeasing your employees, right? You got to do both. And unfortunately, we have a really hard time with those things. Not to say that we don't do it, we just have a harder time than normal people. And because I'm a Pisces rising, um, it says I'm a slut, pretty much. It says
You're a slut.
yeah, it says you
Oh.
exchange intimacies with others easily. I'm just kidding. That just means that I have very intimate conversations very easily with people. Finding yourself in the corner with somebody that you've just met, discussing childhood memories. Yes. Oh my God. Anybody who's listening out there that I may have been in a relationship with before, every prior girlfriend that I've had has said to me without fail, you just go up to random people and have these long ass conversations. So it's like, what the hell? It's like you don't even know them. And I'm like, yeah. So that's
Is that a
spot
bad
on
thing?
too. No, I mean, I think it was because, like I said, like I always picked
Mhm.
people who I was like, the emotional depth I can find with anybody. Don't worry about it.
You're like, I
Just
got
like
it. We're fine. Oh shit,
horrible
Anthony.
decision. And they're like, you're having that conversation with them and not me. Yeah, sorry.
You're like, yeah, actually. And then they were like, we're over. Snip, snip, snip.
And I'm like, shit. Well, apparently this says that I find it easily with people. So on to the next one. No, that was honestly something that was hard for me. And I'll agree with you here quickly. I was always had a hard time at the one night stand thing. And like, that probably contradicts people who did know me because, of my history with how I drank and I blacked out a lot. So there were times when I did it, but like the times when I was like actually like consciously making the decision whether or not to go home with somebody, I was the same thing. I was like, I kind of want to know you, beforehand. But maybe that
Yeah.
that air sign really came out when there was a fifth of, gin in my body. It was kind of like, hey, buddy,
Hmm.
who's up next?
Honestly, like, I mean, yeah, alcohol is definitely like exacerbated situations growing up, but it's so funny. It's like growing up, it was always like, it made you want to do it. But then once you decided to do it, it was like, this kind of isn't great. I
Did
don't
you
know.
ever go home with somebody and when you got there, you were like, shit.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, okay, so earlier I said, like, I never did the one night stand thing. That's true. The closest I ever did come to one was like, I had just met this person like once prior to the time that we decided to do it. And it was so horrendous. It was horrible. Oh my God. It was almost like I had this moment of like, I can never do something like this again because that was the most horrible experience of my life. Then he became a stage 5 clinger. So that was really extra horrible. So yeah.
She's got that magic in her. What'd
Nope.
you do to
Nope.
this
Nope.
guy? Poor thing.
He was saying, just, I don't know. It was funny. One of my friends the other day, we were out having drinks celebrating, and she was like, Kimmy tends to attract the psychos. And I was like, that's not even funny because
You're like, it's
after
true.
having It's true, because it was right after having to deal with that fuckboy situation. I was just like, I wasn't in the mood, and the moon was affecting me negatively that moment. So,
I'm an air sign. It's fine.
and I'm an air sign. It's fine. God,
Ugh,
that rhymes.
I'm gonna
Well,
use that now. That's my
do it.
excuse.
Get it tatted on your body. I'm an air sign. It's fine. In cursive.
People are gonna be like, "It's basic, basic man right here." No,
Maybe Chugi.
ugh, Chug. Oh God,
Feel.
Chugi. I just need more tattoos. That's what I'm gonna spend all my money on.
I know. I was thinking about how I want one today too, but anyways, well, this has been fun. This has been good. This has been a good release for me because I feel, yeah, the release from the sticky, right?
Yeah,
Release.
that sounds really pornographic, but yeah, sure.
Why is this conversation so sexual? It has become part of this whole topic. I don't know what we're gonna name this episode, by the way, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Sticky.
Ew.
Nobody will listen. It'll be like 0 downloads. Damn it.
They're like, shit. God dang it.
We appreciate all of you guys listening. Honestly, it's been great. Like, we've both been busy, so getting back on here is great. And keep listening, because when we see those numbers and people reach out and share and talk to us about it, it helps. I mean, we're gonna do this regardless because we like talking to each other. But yes, like, comment, share. If you haven't subscribed or followed us on Spotify, please do. Obviously, this video, you can see all of our craziness on YouTube as well, so subscribe there as well.
Yes, subscribe, and then we'll keep giving you ridiculous content. Today felt really good, so see you all soon.
Deuces. See ya. Okay.